In this video, we are going to understand principles of management that should be followed by every manager in a business organization. For making this video, I have taken the 14 principles put forward by the father of management, Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol has proposed 14 principles of management, which are like basic guidelines that should be followed by every manager while handling an organization. Now let us see the principles one after the other. Before we see the principles of management, let's try to understand what is the importance of principles of management. Principles of management are essential for effective organizational functioning because they will systematize the functioning of not only the individual employees but also the departments and the whole organization. By systematizing the function, they help yielding expected results. Also, they provide a framework for managers to make informed decisions, optimize resource utilization, and enhance overall performance. By adhering to these principles, managers can improve efficiency, boost employee morale, and achieve organizational goals. These principles are adaptable to various organizational contexts and can be applied to address challenges and seize opportunities in a dynamic business environment. Now, let us start the discussion on principles put forward by Henry Fayol. The first principle is division of work. According to Henry Fayol, entire work of the organization must be divided among the departments. So he advised to divide the organization into unique, distinct administrative units called departments, and each department will be handling a specific function. For example, in a manufacturing organization, we can see a production department handling only production function, a marketing department handling only marketing function, and so on. Depending on the nature of business transacted, organization must be divided into different departments. Thus, what is suggested by this principle, division of work. Then the second principle is authority and responsibility. According to Henry Fayol, authority and responsibility must go hand in hand. How much responsibility you are giving to an employee, that much authority must be given to him, otherwise he may become ineffective. For example, if you give more responsibility and less authority to an employee, he may become ineffective, cannot achieve what he is supposed to. So Henry Fayol always recommends there must be a parity, that is proportionality between authority and responsibility. Then comes the third principle, discipline. Discipline implies adherence to rules and regulations. In the organization, you have to frame rules and regulations and ensure that all employees follow them. And next principle is unity of command. That means an employee must be receiving orders and reporting his work to only one manager, not more than one manager. Having only one manager, one direct superior, is what is called unity of command. Because Henry Foyle thinks that if an employee has more than two managers above him, he may try to play in between them and avoid the work. So, in order to avoid these kind of situations, always there must be one manager to who an employee will be reporting back after completion of work. Then comes the principle unity of direction. Unity means oneness, direction means efforts. Unity of direction means oneness of efforts toward achievement of a given set of objectives. That means, irrespective of number of departments in the organization, all departments must be working towards achieving same set of objectives. Then only there will be unity of direction for the organization. Then comes the next principle, subordination of individual interest to general interest. As it implies, an employee should always keep the organizational interest above the personal interests. And manager should set an example so that his team members will follow the same. Then comes the principle remuneration. The remuneration must be meeting not only internal equity but also external equity. Internal equity means for the employees doing the same job, they should receive same remuneration. There should be no discrepancies. External equity means for the same job in other organizations, what is being paid, same should be paid to the employees here also. Otherwise, employees may tend to leave the organization and go to other organizations. And if competent employees go like that, it will be lost to the company. Then comes the principle centralization and decentralization. Henry Foyle says that there should be a judicious mix of centralization and decentralization. In centralization, authority is centralized in the hands of one person or a group of persons who will take all decisions. And in decentralization, the power of decision making is distributed among all the levels of management. Henry Foyle says that important and strategic decisions should follow centralization of authority, and remaining all day-to-day activities and operations, there you can implement decentralization of authority. Then comes the next principle, scalar chain, where Henry Foyle insists that there must be an established communication network among all the jobs operating within the organization that forms a scalar chain, so that a top manager, if he wants to communicate something to a lower level employee, that communication should first come to the immediate superior of the employee, then only it should go to the actual employee. So this kind of scalar chain maintenance will ease out the passing of information within the organization from top to bottom. And then comes the principle order. Henry Foyle says there should be physical order. That means a place should be there for everything and everything should be in its place. Then comes the principle equity. Equity means there is no partiality. All employees are treated with equality. Same treatment is rendered to everyone. There is no nepotism, favoritism that should be maintained by the manager. Then comes the principle stability of tenure of personnel. That means an employee, when he is hired in the organization, he should be continued as long as he is willing to work. He should be continued in the organization. If there is no assurance that job will continue, then it is going to influence the morality and the motivation of the employees. So always ensure that the job is going to continue for the coming years also. Then comes initiative. That means a manager should always be the first one to set an example to the team members. If any new thing is to be implemented, it should be the manager who has to do it for the first time so that employees will follow the suit. And then comes the last one, esprit de corps, which means teamwork. Teamwork can be set only by inspiring sense of belongingness in the employees, which means they don't see any difference between themselves and the organization. They feel that organization is their own. So if you are a manager and follow these 14 principles, then you can be effective in functioning, decision making, and also achieving the desired results. Thank you.